Hello and welcome to our JUNEwary challenge 2026 and our second day of learning. It is the 9th of June, but it is our second day of learning. At the end of yesterday's play along video, I did mention that I wanted to give a little bit of thought and attention. I described it as being to our thumbs, but actually it's a little bit of thought and attention to where or what notes you're happy to be particularly ringing out in that right hand. And it's, again, a bit of a personal choice. What I found as I was playing it was that my thumb was particularly prominent. And partly because we've got that D sort of piercing through. And it's quite fun because that changes our feel of time as well, because they're not coming in on strong beats in either 6/8 thinking or 3/4 thinking. They're coming in on much weaker beats. So it's quite interesting to have that sort of piercing through. But often with triads, especially when they do have notes landing on stronger beats, we would sort of want to go, yeah, da, dum. Yum, bum, 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 bum. So I'm not telling you one way or the other is how it should be. I'm just noticing it really and thinking about what do I like the sound of, and then the best way to bring that out of myself is to listen for it. But if I don't even think about it, I can't do that. So it's noticing, are there any notes that are particularly standing out, being particularly prominent? And am I okay with those being the notes that are particularly prominent? And if they're not, can I listen for the different notes, the ones that I do want? And that will then naturally translate to my hand producing the effort that will bring it out. Anyway, let us move on to today's learning. So we've got 4 bars today. At first glance, looks quite similar. We need to not be caught out with what's happening where on this, because there are a couple of little changes. What I will do first is I will play yesterday from the beginning of the piece. I'll play through both those lines and into today's line so that you can hear how it flows, notice what's similar, and then we'll have an in-depth look on today. So I'm going from the beginning. If you want to join in with me, you can. I'll do a count so you know where you are. But otherwise it's really good just to sit back and listen and maybe follow along the music with your eyes. Here we go. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So did you notice which bars were the same? So in bar 9 we have, so the same as our first bar and our bar 5, and that comes back 2 bars later again, like it did in line 1 and in line 2. However, our second bar today, so bar 10, and our final bar today, they have got differences in from what we've done before. So in bar 2 of today, so bar 10, we have this high F that we're going to lean for. So going from the bar before, triad, and then all 4 on. So before I play that thumb, I can boof those on, and before I play that last note, I can get my top F on. And I'm going to try and make that top F, which feels almost like it comes out of nowhere, and certainly it's not as structured as the other notes in terms of it's either a triad or it's in a row. It's all the way up here. Really beautifully, musically. I'm going to try and make sure that I'm not too harsh with it. Could really blare out if we're not careful. So just practicing on that second bar, I've got 2, 3, 4 on the A. Don't put my thumb on yet because I'm heading downwards, so I'm heading in that direction. So I play the finger 2, play the 3. Now I can get my thumb onto the F, and I'm doing a little glance, giving it my attention for a second. And then I'm going to make a particularly concerted effort to pluck my thumb beautifully as your teacher has taught you. There are different techniques for how that moves, but so long as you are doing it in your most beautiful way, and I like bending it over, having somewhere to aim for, that's what I like, then you can hopefully make it not stand out too harshly. Okay, now the left hand underneath that, for the first time, we've got the left hand moving from the bass note to the chord up high sooner than we have anywhere else yet. So we've got the beginning of the line is the G, go down for the F, but it's on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's the first time it's landed on the second full beat of the bar. It's the first time it's landed there. So it's sooner than we think. So we've been able to sort of luxuriate in this boom coming up, boom coming up, and having a bit longer, and then it can go on, you know, and having that sort of time from when we've plucked down here to traveling up. But this one we need to watch for. As soon as we've done that F in that second bar, we need to be straight onto it, and that is worth practicing. Can I get my F with my open hand and get my fingers straight on? Now the lovely thing that we're aiming for is middle C with our thumb and the finger 2 on the A. So I would put my eyes on the C, let my thumb go there. And then I would get to the point where, having practiced it a few times, where I'm allowed to look and I'm looking at it, I would then go, okay, let's look away or close my eyes. And can I land on those notes still? Okay, let's try again. Yeah, I'm landing in that same place. So I'm training that size gap from here to here, training that into the hand. Okay, because then if you know, actually, I could do that when I'm not even looking, it allows you to, yes, you can look at it if you want, but also if your eyes are needed elsewhere, for example, to get that top F on, you may have glanced at this on the way up, so where that's going to, but you're ready here, not waiting until you need the note to then go and look for it. Okay, so if we put those 2 bars together, bar 9 and 10, got the right hand triad, left hand down here. So we've got the first note, which is the G. I'll talk you through it as I do it. So we're going to play G, coming up, down to the F, doing that leap we've just practiced, and top hand getting ready on the F. I'm pausing for a second, but we wouldn't. I'm going to play those notes, and then this is ready, and I can do a beautiful. Okay, so putting that into some timing now. Okay, I'm just letting my shoulders drop away, because as we do all this focusing, they can get a little bit more tense and climb up towards our ears. So from the beginning of bar 9, but with timing, I'll take it really steady for a second to give us that space. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Was your thumb ready? Did you have it ready up in that top hand? Okay, and again, you can practice. And you can practice, have I got my thumb in the right place, without actually having to look? Yes, it's there. And then you can do it and actually play it. I don't feel like I've reached to the right note there. I hadn't known. And practice playing that as well. And then you're letting yourself have faith in yourself. You're allowing you to have faith in you. And it really helps, and in what your hands are doing. Okay, second half, we've got the same pattern here, and the left hand's gone down to the E. So we're back to the G triad in the top. And then this last bar, at first glance, you might think, oh, it's similar to the end of line 2, or it's the same as the end of line 2. what we have instead of C, da da B, A, is we've got A, B, da da A. So melody wise, coming in from before it, A, B, A. Those are happening on the strong beats. And then we have these grace notes. At the end of line 2, they were, but this isn't where we are now. We've got A, B, going to the A. So that's a C, B, and an A. And again, notice like yesterday, I'm putting fingers 2, 3, and 4 on. So my thumb is just up nicely out of the way, helping me to get that shape. My wrist, elbow are all as I've been taught. And we're going to go. Okay, so the part there, we've gone G, B, D. So I might go 3 and 2 on the A and the B. A, B, and then 2, 3, 4. And really notice how I don't leave my arm here and hope that I'm going to get that note. As soon as I start leaving my hand exactly where it is, it's much harder to bring them into the palm. I actually go, so it's like I'm pushing my hand. And it's not outwards, it's forward, it's travelling. The notes are travelling that way, and my hand is travelling that way. And I carry the travel on after I've plucked the note. I don't just go and then stop there. I let the movement, let the momentum move, and then bring me back to whatever's going to come next. Big surprise, it's another G. That's a really useful thing with the way you travel when you've got particularly a series of faster notes like that, the grace notes, and we're aiming for the A, the final note, to be the one that is prominent. Not, don't want to go da da da, even if that's fast. That's not what we want. We want to go da da da. Okay, so we can work on that. Left hand all the way through that was identical to line 1 right at the very beginning. No, I tell a lie. That's absolute rubbish. Sorry. 3 bars of it was identical to line 1, but that we've got that second bar that I've already discussed, haven't we? Where we need to get here much sooner. And we've done our work jumping to there. Okay, so we will be aiming for putting that all together, and I'll do this properly in the play along video, so I'm not going to count you in now, but just to hear it, starting today would be and making sure that my chord lands with that final A. That's the bit where it lands together. One little extra thing there that I didn't mention, as I go from that second bar, bar 10, into bar 11, I am placing up to that F and really beautifully playing my thumb, I hope. I'm allowing myself a bit of a lift there. I'm not immediately getting the next one placed, and then I can open up to my triad again, like the beginning. Rather than I'm getting that on, which actually would be, you know, it wouldn't allow me to play a beautiful thumb. If I then get my 3 on there, it sort of feels too big a reach to really beautifully play that thumb. Okay, join me on the play along. We will work through that at a few different speeds. And then tomorrow we will do the 4th line of the piece together. Another play along for that. And then we'll have a rest day. Okay, so we've got 3 days of learning this time round, and then we'll have our rest day. Just because it's similar movements again, so it gets us nicely to the end of this particular section of the piece. Okay, keep it up. Well done.